Hello, and welcome to World of Tanks. I'm Asparagus Vandal, and with me as always is Glorious Victory. And we're here to talk...
Oh, glorious victory, yes!
We're going to blitz through some stuff here real quick. Patch 1.5 hit today. We're going to spend a lot of time talking about that. We are streaming on Monday instead of Tuesday. That's because we are going to be out of the office for a surprise team building session tomorrow.
Surprise! Nobody knows we're team building.
Apologies for the change on that if you look forward to our Tuesday stream. And we're also going to have a shorter stream today than we usually do because we have already planned stuff going on Monday. So real quick, we're going to go through all the news that isn't related to the update, and then we're going to talk about all the update news and changes.
Let's just like run through all of this real quick. So we have Fire or Ice, which ends on May 3rd. If you don't know what that is, go to the article. We'll have Crazy Boop post that. We obviously have update 1.5, which we will be talking about for the rest of the stream. We have Tank Mastery, which started on the 26th. So the new tanks are the M5 Stuart, the Type 1 Chihi, the ARL 44, and the AMX 50 Foch 155. We still have the OSD 8-bit salute going on that ends on June 1st. You can go to the donations page, donate, and you get a bunch of missions and stuff. We also have the on-track going on for the WZ132-1, and then tomorrow is the last day to grab your Care Package Charlie, which is this month's Twitch Prime free loot thing. So, bam! That's all of the stuff that's going on from last week into this week, and now we're just going to be talking about Update 1.5, because Update 1.5 dropped today, which,
Swedish mediums.
Swedish cheese.
Well, before we get to the cheese, some matters of administration. Jeep in chat on YouTube is calling us liars, which hurts me deeply. So one thing that we talked about on the stream last week is that the Bond Shop was going to be available in 1.5. The Bond Shop is available in 1.5. However, at this time, vehicles are not in it. And that is because the testing in the common test with the Bond Shop for vehicles did not work out the way it is planned. So let me switch over to my screen really quick. So you can see the Bond Shop here. The back end is built. Vehicles will be in here at some point. It's just delayed. And we apologize for the delay for those of you who are really looking forward to it, but those vehicles are still coming. They're still going to be in the Bond Shop, just not this patch. And alongside that, some of you have also talking about the 430 and the 430U changes that were originally being tested and now have been rolled back. Those are still going to happen, or some sort of changes are still going to happen. It's still very much on the docket, but it's not going to be done as a part of this wave. The decision was made to focus, and frankly, because of a lot of feedback and testing on the other three vehicles that are being changed, which are the AMX 30B, the STB1, and the Leopard 1, we're going to focus on those three, and we're going to have news on new changes for those vehicles coming out later this week. So we'll probably be able to talk with you about them on Thursday, I'm hoping. We'll see how progress goes. So that's what's going on with Bond Shop, that's what's going on with the Object 430, 430U, and that's what's going on with the other medium tank balances. Now, let's get into 1.5.
Yes. So, if you guys don't know, a bunch of tanks for the Swedish tech tree got rebalanced. Well, not a bunch. The top 3 tanks in the Swedish heavy line got reworked. Most of them got a buff to their damage output, and then the top 2 tanks got some mobility buffs, which is fantastic. They're a little bit more mobile now, and they give out a little bit more damage per minute. I believe for both the Emil 2 and the Kranvang and the Emil 1, they got about plus 40 hit points per shot, and they also, I believe, got a little bit less on the... they had their reload time decreased, so they definitely have a little bit more damage output per minute, which is super awesome. Yes, 1.5 dropped today. This is currently a live stream, so...
Yeah, so again, the Emil 1 really didn't need a mobility buff. It's already a very mobile heavy tank, but it is getting a higher DPM and a higher damage per shot in exchange for that one shell, just like the other two. Interesting to see how these go. I have seen a lot more Swedish heavies in the games that I've been able to play so far today. So I'm rooting for them because personally I'm a pretty big fan of the Emil 1. I haven't gotten farther on the line, but I think it's a cool play style.
Yes.
So not just changes to Swedish vehicles this patch. We also, of course, have the new Bond Shot and the new World of Tanks Premium Time.
Ooh,
we have talked about the World of Tanks Premium Time. I'm going to pull it up real quick here. If you had Premium Time going into today, into this patch, you automatically received an equivalent amount of World of Tanks Premium Time.
Yes.
So, boom, straight, already there. And the new stuff that you get the same bonus credits and experience. You get an applicable bonus to a win. So if you have a bad win and you don't want to use your daily win bonus, you're getting an additional bonus to use manually whenever you have a really good game and a win, which is pretty cool. You get an extra slot to exclude a map. Some people don't like that. We can talk about that later. You also get some daily premium missions and some platoon bonuses. So the missions are cool. You can earn some bonds. We are going to have other ways for free-to-play players to earn bonds soon. And probably the coolest thing that I'm going to do right now is map exclusion. Excluded maps. So you click on it up here.
Yes.
So everyone's going to have this one.
Yes.
But if you have the World of Tanks Premium account, you have 2. And I'm just going to go right here and just... Bye-bye, Insk. See ya.
Get rid of Empire's border.
And I'm actually going to ditch Paris.
Oh, man.
Okay, and one thing that is important to note, you can change the maps that you have excluded once every 4 hours. And if you are in a platoon, only the platoon leader's exclusions count. So right now I'm in a platoon with TragicLoss, and she is the leader at this moment. I'm the leader. So
I made you the leader.
So if she excludes maps, it doesn't matter. Only my exclusions will count for when we queue in this platoon. So there's your exclusion maps. You can now dodge your Himmelsdorf if you're playing Artie, dodge your Prokhorovka if you're playing Type 5, whatever. Speaking of Type 5s, one other part of the patch we did mention, Type 5, Type 4, and shit barn changes. Got my one out of the way early today.
Did you do that so I couldn't take it away from you? I took it away from him last week. I said shirt barn.
I need it. Anyway, so that's what's going on.
Can you guys tell me why do you all play tanks more than World of Warships? Probably because we work on World of Tanks. So,
does the platoon premium bonus get multiplied by premium vehicles? They do stack, but I don't think they multiply each other.
Yeah.
So you will get the percentage bonuses of each stacked on top of each other, but the percentages don't stack on top of each other.
You know what else is really cool about the new World of Tanks Premium Time? You have 5 optional bonuses that you can actually apply to your experience. So that's one of the things that we introduced to the new World of Tanks Premium, is essentially for any win that you have, you can actually apply a ×3 bonus to your experience in that match. So that's actually pretty cool, especially since you get to pick which ones that you want to multiply by 3, which is super awesome. So if you have a really good game and you're a mill, and then you have another really good game, you can actually, I believe you can only do it for the last win, but if you have a good game and you're a mill 1, and then a good game and you're a mill 2, you can actually pick one or the other, and then you can increase one of them or both of them, which is super cool.
Okay, a few other things in chat. Jeep, it was technical reasons. It wasn't a conspiracy. The tanks for bonds was not ready to roll out, and it didn't roll out.
Yeah.
It's still happening. Sorry, it was delayed. Features and software development do sometimes get delayed due to technical issues.
Yes. Is the ×3 additive or multiplicative? I believe it is multiplicative. We can play a game and then we'll show you guys essentially how it works, as long as we win. So
yeah, that's not gonna happen.
With the daily ×2, I believe it stacks on top.
Cryptic.
Let's play a match.
Hold on a second, real quick. Cryptic says the ×3 manageable bonus XP puts tank XP onto the tank, even if you have accelerate crew training on Wargaming. Thanks for letting us know. We'll definitely test that and get back to the dev team on that.
Alright.
We did obviously a lot of weird systems changes this patch.
Turn on accelerated crew training.
We are expecting some stuff to go wrong.
We'll see if my tank XP, which is currently 0, goes up on this.
So you're going to play the Email 1. I'm going to play the new Tier 8
awesome.
Oods 14.5. We're going to give that a shot. I haven't played the Swedish mediums at all. We're going to do a count-in on Tier 8 when you are ready.
I can do that. I will do the thing. Alright. Oops. Open in browser. 1 second. Alright, I'm ready. Alright, tier it. Get ready. 3, 2, 1, go. Did this patch contain any frontline changes you'd like to disclose? I don't think so. I don't think we had any frontline updates.
I think, Cardin, those will probably come out in the article before the next episode of Frontline.
Yeah.
Frontline, no S. And again, I'm not sure what has or has not changed from the Asia changes, but you could go check out that Asia News article that we've linked a couple times, that the changes that they tested last episode. I don't think we're deviating a lot. I'm not sure if it's exactly the same.
How long before someone asks if they can change their account from NA to EU? We've actually discussed that a couple of times.
I think he was making a joke because he's watched the stream before.
Fair,
or maybe not, but that's
I'm still letting you guys know. We do have a FAQ page, which I can drop in chat for you guys. It is not only the stream schedule, but also the FAQ page. Like I said, this stream that we have today is because we had to reschedule from tomorrow because we have essentially team building.
Yep. So Jeep says, I was told by customer service that Bonds for Tanks isn't coming for a year. Customer service may have given you the wrong answer, and we will look into that. Feel free to post... I think I know your World of Tanks name, so we can probably look at the ticket from that, but I'm pretty sure that customer service is working with outdated information there. Which does happen, guys. We apologize, but it is hard to keep everyone updated on every small piece, and then sometimes people do get the updated information and then just don't read it.
What are Brad Harris says, what are the chances my account was deleted? Unless you asked for it to be deleted, it should not have been, unless you were, like, banned, and then you just can't access your account at all.
There's that new suspension kicking in.
Ooh, yeah? Oh, we're watching you. Nice.
Yeah, I forgot to change
what happened to the 430/430U? They need to buff it. LOL. JK. So what's up with that? So essentially, the devs have decided that the direction that they were going with the changes to the 430 and U weren't what they should have been, and so now they're going back and reworking it. They've essentially scrapped the changes that they put into Super Test. By the way, you guys, it wasn't on Common Test, it was on Super Test, which is an earlier test version than what usually goes onto Common Test. So
Moogle Slime has posted about, I thought Kharkov was coming back this patch. What happened? Did I misunderstand? I don't remember it being a part of the final changes, but I fully believe that you got it from a right place.
Oh,
I will look into that. It was delayed from this patch. We'll have to find why. But it may have just not been ready to be released.
Oh gosh, that hurt a lot.
Yeah, and the 430, you guys, like the 430U changes, the actual specific changes that we mentioned were unpopular across all three servers.
Oh,
it wasn't just
RU.
I should say
dead. Yeah.
4 servers at all.
Oh.
How is that not hitting?
I died super fast.
The reload on this tank is real bad, and I haven't been able to hit anything with it, but that might just be...
Yes, 1.5 has dropped in NA only at this point in time, I believe. Are mods that show me where to park my TD fair play legal? Do you mean, like, suggested areas? Like, I'm not sure what you mean.
Yeah, I'm not familiar with that mod. I don't think it would be illegal, based on the fair play policy. The shortest answer is to go check out the newest fair play policy article and then the old one, and see if it falls under the specifically mentioned mods that are prohibited.
So how are the new Swedish tank buffs? So far I've actually been enjoying the Swedish TDs, or Swedish heavies. I played them a little bit before, but otherwise, like, they're very comfortable, honestly.
Yeah, I had a game in the email one earlier that went very well. There we go. Nice shot. So the velocity, one thing about these tanks is I believe they have APCR for their normal and their special rounds. So the shell velocity is just excellent. So that long-range shots on lighter armored vehicles can be very successful.
Geep. We did say that the Bond Shop was coming. But the thing is, the thing that was delayed was being able to purchase tanks inside
the Bond shop
shop
is in the game. If you go to the shop right now, you can pull up the Bond shop. But there are no vehicles in it right now, which is the part that changed.
Yeah. Alright, no worries, Geep Geep. We do appreciate your feedback. Like, we do try to give you guys, like, correct information, but sometimes things change. Like, it's not something that we can, necessarily able to warn you about.
That's
sometimes
why
things change
you'll
even
notice
overnight.
us hedging our bets pretty frequently when we talk about when something is going to be released, and that's because stuff changes.
What about Darkfront? Will it be back for October? I guess we'll see. Like, we don't have any information on...
There will definitely be a Halloween mode. I don't know if it's going to... Like, obviously we had the Leviathan mode in 2017, which was totally different than 2018. So, at this time, I'm not sure what 2018's game mode is going to look like yet.
Why wasn't the Bond shop added? It was! It's just that tanks for Bonds aren't in the shop yet. How much of this is applicable to console play? Very little. Like, the mechanics in Tanks PC and Tanks console are very similar, but you can't, there's no, like, straight across, like, transfer. Like, there's some similarities, but you're just gonna have to figure them out. Is there any word on the crew skill revamps? We do know that they will be coming. We don't have any information on them, though.
Well, I had a good accounting of myself there, but just swarmed by too many opponents.
Will the E100 ever be buffed? Yes.
More details to come. Right now, we're focused.
Did we say that Kharkov was gonna be...
There was an article about it. We're gonna look into it.
Right.
I'm not sure the last thing I heard about that was.
Has crossplay ever been a thought for World of Tanks? No, because they're completely different games in terms of console, Blitz, and PC. They're all very different games.
Yeah, and so one thing we also didn't talk about from the patch is the artillery changes getting brought in. So the stun, what's the word I'm searching for? There's just decaying returns. I can't remember the word I'm going for here.
Monday is
but basically getting stunned over and over again is going to have less of an effect than it had before.
Yes.
I have got to tell you that my game earlier in the email 1, I was getting stunned from a significant distance away, so that still felt pretty effective. But yeah, we'll have to see how that pans out. I know the SPG players aren't particularly happy about it. Some of you might be, but we'll see how that shakes out.
Any specific dates or time range for the E100 buffs? We don't, unfortunately. So earlier this year or late last year, we essentially said that there would be 5 tier 10 tanks that would be getting reworked throughout the year, and that was the Leopard 1, the STB 1, the IS-4, the E100, and the Cranbang. So far, STB 1 and Leopard 1 are on the super test, and then Cranbang changes just went through. So it is currently April, or end of April, and so that's 3 tanks that have already been, and you can see my rocker
what is this
for counting. We have 3 tanks that have so far either been considering reworks or testing has hit super test. And so it could be throughout the course of this year. My guess is maybe later on in the year, like 3 to 4 months for the next round of buffs
it's impossible in no case.
Yeah.
And that's because right now the focus obviously right now is on the medium tank buffs or changes. So that's once we have the info, we'll be sure to pass it on to you for sure.
Yeah. Let's see.
Steven asks, if the NA servers are shut down, what will happen to you? I'll probably be placed in cold storage until what is dead may never die, and as you know, the NA servers have been dead since at least, what, 2015?
Something like that.
Yeah, we're just a bunch of zombies around here.
Oh, Vino of Nikona says, wonder if they're going to rework SPG missions. Do you want to answer that one? He said it in all caps. So I had to say it like
if
that.
it proves necessary, yes, is basically the answer on that. We're not quite sure it is. We're going to be looking at a lot of data on that, and if it proves necessary, there will be changes.
Yes.
Again, as far as Kharkov guys, we are going to look into that. I know that it was brought up before. I'm not sure at what point it got punted from the patch. This was a really big content patch, so unfortunately Kharkov has slipped through my awareness here.
Yeah.
I will... Crazy Boop, who's moderating chat, if you can pull up the info we have on that, let us know. Monty just showed up. Hey, Monty, how's it going? Yeah, we're having a surprise Monday stream. Okay, do you want to queue up for another game, and then
yes.
I will do an email, and then you can play the tier 8 Swedish medium?
Alright, I will play a tier 8. Oh, I was going to play the tier 9 next.
Oh, or tier 9, that's fine.
We're going to do tier 9.
We'll do tier 9.
I didn't even purchase mine yet, did I? Or I did not purchase one yet. Do you wanna play the tier 9? I don't even have the Top Gun on it.
My medium crew's still in the game.
Oh. Well, that's a problem. Why don't we just both play ML2s? We'll both play ML2s. Is the Tuesday stream canceled? Yes.
Yes.
We moved the stream from Tuesday to today.
Okay. I will.
E100 buff when? Povilas Skrodenis. We
Go
don't
back 5
know
minutes.
yet. I tried pronouncing your name. I want to address you directly. We don't know exactly when the E100 buff is, but my guess is sometime through this year. Because
it's definitely going to be this year.
Yeah.
Yes. Again, guys, the future buffs, we're working on the medium buffs right now. They're on the super test. We're going to release a new iteration this week. We're not concerned about other vehicles right now. They're on the roadmap, but right now we're focused on the STB1, the AMX-30B, and the Leopard 1.
Yes.
And once those buffs are in a better place, we can talk about other vehicles.
Do you want to grab your mill?
No, I'm going to play the tier 9.
Oh, okay. All right, count in.
Count in at tier 9 for those of you who are interested.
In tier 9.
Hey, Badger, how's it going?
3, 2, 1, go. Someone was asking about keeping Win8 out of the game. We are working on an anonymizer. I'm going to post the stream FAQ in the chat again. Essentially, go check out the FAQ because it has a lot of information that some of you guys are asking about. So, crossing my fingers. Anything having to do with maps, there's a lot of information on that. Just click the link, read through. Povilas, we already answered your question.
Slick new medium tank. It's got almost a tank destroyer profile. Very, very flat.
Jonathan Larkby wants to know if we're going to buff the bad tanks, then rebuff everything else so they get immediately power creeped.
We hope not.
Yeah. WKCW1, will XVM be phased out? We don't do XVM. XVM is not a creation of Wargaming. It's actually a player-created system, and so the only thing that we do is provide statistics from our game, which is statistics that you can actually see on your service record, including average damage and stuff like that.
Yeah, and my first tank is the tier 9. Yeah. So the sorry, I got distracted by this guy in chat.
Yeah?
What were we just talking about?
XVM?
Yeah, so XVM, we don't supply it to them directly. They pull it from our API. Anyone can get API access.
Yes.
So we're not phasing out XVM. That's not even really up to us. Gosh, I have no idea how to play this map on this mode. But the short and the long of it is we are going to have the anonymizer, so you'll be able to hide your stats from XVM if you so want. That should be rolling out later this year, according to the team working on it. But again, XVM is not a Wargaming affiliated mod. It is just a very popular mod.
Yes. We did not create it. Someone else did for us, technically.
Well, for themselves. But...
Yes. Well, for themselves.
Well, for other players, I guess, is really who's benefiting.
Ouchies.
I will say the reload on these Swedish mediums is a bit... Oh, man.
Ow!
I'm just not able to block shots at this angle.
I am just in a bad position, so I'm getting shot at by everywhere. By everybody.
Gotta be honest, not impressed with the turret armor. I thought I was gonna have more on that tank. It's actually quite fragile.
Oh god.
Which is bad for this map, because attacking into the city, there's not a lot of place to go. Probably should have gone north, I guess, where there is some more ridges.
Ooh, blocked a shot right there.
Are there any tanks you were looking forward to being buffed? I personally am looking really forward to the Leopard 1 changes. Big fan of Leopard 1, would like to see more.
Bros Mario, please go check out our FAQ. Yeah. We have a nice FAQ that talks about buffing any tank in the game. Just go check it out.
Saki686 question: are the apparent cancellations of the nerfs of the 430 and 430U permanent? No. They're being delayed, and they're going to be rolled out once we have more time to think about them as individual tanks. Like I said just a bit ago, we're really focused on the 3 tier 10 mediums that are being iterated on right now in comment and super test. So we're going to have new changes to talk about for those 3 tanks. The 430U and 430U changes are still going to happen, but we're going to approach them later on.
Yes. I have a couple questions from newer player. Does one get a bonus chance for spotting when in sniper mode? No. And is there bonus XP from doing damage over 300 feet? I actually don't know. So one of the things that we do check when you're shooting and you're getting damage is, are you spotting your own target? If you're spotting your own target, you get full experience for that. But if someone else is spotting your target for you, they get some of the credit for it. And that's what assisted damage is in game, which you can kind of see down here. Whereas like your normal damage, so like
there's no bonus base.
So
there are some missions that require it or badges, but no.
So heavy tanks, like if you're in a heavy tank and you're like alone against someone, you're spotting your own damage, which means you'll get full experience for that. But if you're a TD and there's a light tank spotting something else for you, you will get less experience for that.
Yep. Okay, so Ming Ming asks, are there any gift tanks anytime soon? Not in the immediate term. Those usually happen around the holiday season. Old Wolf said he didn't like the tier 9 Swedish medium, but he did like the 8 and 10. I've only had one game, but so far I'm inclined to agree with you. At the very least, the tier 9 doesn't have any durability, so I have to account for that next time. Doran on Facebook asked, what mods do you guys use? None. We play vanilla client. Kevin Yu on YouTube asked, could we start checking the new Swedish tech tree in the website? They're not in the Tankopedia yet, but you can find them in client or on tanks.gg right now.
Yep.
Ken on Facebook asked, when will you shut down the US servers? No time in the foreseeable future. The NA server is still quite self-sustaining and doing pretty well, actually, for an 8-year-old game. Obviously not as well as we were at our peak. World of Tanks in general is not as big as it was at its peak, but most 8-year-old games would be very, very happy to do as well as we are doing now, and we have all of you to thank for that, so we appreciate it. Okay.
I think that's... Kevin Cronin says, in all of the matchmaker changes, are they considering changing RNG at all? Not as far as I know. I don't think we've thought about any... I'm going to refresh my chat because I think we're missing... I'm
missing some. Scrofford asks, any reason why assisted damage seems to not count higher win 8? We don't do win 8. It's not our formula, so I can't help you with that. World of Tanks rating is what Wargaming offers you on your website profile. And you do get a benefit of that. I believe that is primarily based on your base XP, so anything that contributes to base XP will help you with that. Are you putting a message that says Wargaming didn't create Win 8? What about Win 9? What happened to Win 9?
I think the algorithm for it, the person who created it didn't like it.
So Cardinarfa says, when are the German wheeled vehicles coming out? No news on any other wheeled vehicles at this time. The 2 trees, we just had a tree release. The Swedish mediums released today. And the next tree that we've talked about, that's probably almost definitely certainly soon TM coming, is the British Lights. So British Lights are the next thing to look forward to. We will probably have some information on the next tree after that in a few weeks, I hope. But I honestly don't even know what it is either. So it could be another wheeled vehicle tree, but I don't think so. I think there's some other stuff we're going to do first. Maybe we'll just put that into more balancing, since we're doing a lot of that right now.
All right. When are German wheeled vehicles coming out? CabbageLoss? So guys, anything having to do with future tanks, future maps, and buffs are all in the FAQ. I just posted the link. It says worldoftanks.com, EN, content, docs, stream schedule, FAQ.
Stream schedule, FAQ.
Click that and just quickly read through it.
She doesn't listen to it all, guys. Not even a little bit.
Never. Seems like the premium account bonds missions is not working.
I was going to go to the bond shop real quick. Somebody asked that. So you can go to store.
Interesting.
And then we'll wait for that to load. And then right down here, items for bonds. And there is your bond shop. So right now it has all the stuff you can buy in other areas. This is more about getting this infrastructure in the game. You can buy your directives here in the bond shop. And like I said, there will be vehicles for sale in here at some point in the near future. And we will hopefully have more information for you guys on that one soon.
All right, cool.
So tier 10.
Tier 10.
Tier 10.
All right. Tier 10.
I'm playing the 15-16. I can't wait for a player nickname for this tank because I can't imagine Uda's 15-16 is going to stick.
I have no idea. Let's see. When you release new maps, why do other maps get taken away? So there's kind of a rotation where if a map gets taken out, if a map gets put in, we sometimes pull another map for rebalancing. That way there's kind of an always average number of maps in our game. So
we'll see about that.
That way you don't necessarily get less maps.
Steven on Facebook asks, sure, for non-geeks, WTF is a patch note. So patch notes is a colloquial way of saying the list of all the changes that occurred in this patch. So we just released the 1.5 patch. And the patch notes for 1.5 that you can find on the worldoftanks.com/news portal is basically just a summary of everything that changed in the patch, which in this case, as we've covered, arty changes, Swedish medium releases, the introduction of the bond shop, even though it doesn't have vehicles in it. And
we have Disciple on our team.
Edits to the Swedish heavies, and not Kharkov, sadly, as some people have pointed out.
Today I tracked an object 257 and an ally tank ammo racked him for full HP, but I didn't get any spotting or tracking damage. Can I ask why? It could be that someone else tracked them after you did. And then Mountain Lion asks, how do you block maps in game? Essentially, in the top left-hand corner of the game, you can actually click on your name, and that'll bring up a nice little screen, and then there's a little box, I believe it's like right about here, where you can click on it, and that'll bring up the tank exclusion UI, and then you can exclude maps from there.
Yeah, I'm not drinking. This is a Waterloo flavored seltzer water.
Yeah. We're not allowed to drink on stream because the lawyer said so.
Okay.
Well, it's true. Like, we actually asked her.
That's not the only reason I'm not drinking alcohol right now.
It's not.
But
it's not. But
yeah,
it
that's
is
one reason. That is one reason, I suppose. Well, this is why you gotta load winning rounds. I'm not getting any pen indicators, so I'm gonna go for the track.
Ow! I got RT'd. Why does the Swedish Tier 8 have a longer load time on its Top Gun than a Tier 9?
I'd have to look at more details to give you a good answer on that, to be honest. I'm honestly not too familiar with the Swedish mediums as of yet. These are my first couple of games in them myself, so I'm hoping to play them more this week and
that's a real
have
scary
some more
Jaegeru.
Uneducated opinions for them on you. I'm sure we have some folks in chat who can probably give you a better, that was a terrible shot, a better analysis of the vehicles. Jeep says the FE 4005 is awful now. Ooh, is that true? I haven't encountered one yet.
Yeah.
Or tried to play it.
I've encountered one, but I don't know if he was a great player, so. We do have a bat chat over here. Yeah,
Steven, if you watch the video, that's basically, we'll do the same job. The patch notes are just in all the changes in writing.
Yeah.
You prefer it that way. It's a bit more technical sometimes.
We also do these streams, that way we can clarify any possible confusion for you guys.
As we are able. Unfortunately, Kharkov, I'm not equipped to answer why that did not make it to the patch yet, but we are going to look into that. We do want more maps.
That's a lot of cranberries.
Yeah, that's a whole.
Oh, you know what? Oh, that's lot that's lost, and there's a Wonka guy on the other team as well.
Oh.
So.
Just traded shots with that one.
How do I go from the team I am on to a team like you play for? I'm not sure what you mean there.
Just a normal random battle team here.
Yeah, just a normal random battles.
I'm liking this alpha. 457 damage.
Yes,
I like.
we currently don't have any tanks in the bond shop, but they will be coming in the future. It was delayed by the devs, but the bond shop is available. It's just that
you can't buy anything you can't already buy with bonds.
There's oh boy.
Yeah, they're coming in from the bridge side as well now.
Yeah, I can see. No.
Yikes! Nice shots on bridge. Are you gonna get jumped from above?
I might, honestly. I'm surprised I haven't already. So
I'm keeping an eye.
Oof.
Oh, that's nice. No. I don't want to push down.
Batcha has more shells than I do. So.
Okay, here we go.
Yep,
430 is coming. Yeah, I
now
thought that was
I'm gonna
happen.
get rushed. Hello. Ooh, I'm getting shot by an oods. Ooh.
Oh, okay. Just gonna get this shot and get out of here. Okay, he's
Oh
dead.
Boy, I don't.
All
know
right,
how I
took out the
survived
Steve.
An extra.
You're alive
somehow.
Wow.
Oh no. Lil Neffy Jr. from Wonka killed me.
Lil Neffy.
Yeah, well, that's his name. Ever thought about user-created camos?
Oh.
Camblems? Camo emblems, etc. Possibly letting the community vote on them and the winner gets gold or something. I don't know. Like, we do have a creative...
it's definitely a cool idea.
Yeah.
One of the problems I'd say we have is the process for getting stuff in the game isn't super easy to make that happen.
Yeah.
If I felt better about definitely being able to get something done, I definitely would be interested in doing something like that. We might be able to do one, but it has to be planned really, really far in advance is the problem for how it gets baked into the game. But it's a cool idea. That's definitely something I'd like to do.
What vehicles are good for trying to hang back and provide medium-range direct fire support, aside from or in addition to tank destroyers? Let me actually go look at some... So, I would say there are some second-line heavies, and there are some medium tanks that fit that kind of role. There's a... Oops, I almost turned my face off instead of that text. Let me go through some heavies and mediums.
Dominic, the change is still going to happen. It's just been delayed.
Say the Italian tanks are pretty good second line mediums, mostly because they do have very weak armor, but they have good damage per minute.
Yeah, Michael, yes, the STB1. We're going to have updates on that change later this week.
Let's see. Probably the Polish mediums as well. I would possibly say some of the French mediums? Yeah. Or sorry, French auto-loading heavies. And some of the Centurions as well. There's definitely a lot of tanks that fit the category of medium range direct fire support, so
we're sniper in game.
Yeah,
with
almost all the paper mediums are pretty good second line support vehicles, so I would pick some of those, honestly. They're pretty solid tanks, I would say.
Yeah, so I have to say my initial impressions of the Swedish mediums so far, I do the 8 and the 10 make sense to me. Yes. The tier 9 did feel a bit rough, but it's obviously only one game in each, and I'm not that great of a player, so keep an eye on our community contributors. Yeah. I'm sure they're going to be able to give you better informed opinions on these guys very soon.
Hirotaka, when is the 430? So guys, anything having to do with the 430U overarching comments, essentially the current, or the original plan changes are being canceled, and they're going to change what they rebalance on the tank. And so just essentially expect that there's going to be another round of testing for super tests before they even come to common tests. So
yeah, and those changes that, as initially pitched, the view is kind of just they were not fully conceived or thought out.
Yeah.
And so they are being changed.
Play more Swedes.
Yep.
Are French tanks still faster in reverse? They might be. They might be.
The French fought valiantly. All right? Look into your history. Not maybe the most intelligently. But so that one thing happens if you look at World War II. France is everyone likes to make fun of the Maginot Line, but it actually made a lot of sense at the time. The French were like, oh, no one's going to bring armor through that forest. That would be a ridiculous engineering feat. No one's going to do that. And then the Germans were like, well, they're German, so...
We did, they said. We will.
Meticulous engineering feat to be done.
Oh, by the way, guys, we will be issuing compensation tomorrow because the downtime today for update 1.5 was actually delayed by a little while. So expect if you had premium time that you will get an additional day of premium time.
And that is the important thing to note. It's for people who missed out on premium time as a result of the schedule issues.
Yes.
So that is who's getting that. Scroll back to tier 8. I'm going to play.
Can you remove the bullet hole in the Cranbang turret? It's starting to annoy me. Maybe.
All right.
If you ask nicely.
Ready to count in?
Yes.
Counting in
at
tier 8.
Yep. Ready. All right. 3, 2, 1, go. Everyone wants to know when the real arty nerfs take effect.
Well, I'm sure. What I want to know is when antenna physics are getting implemented.
Yeah. Yao says, will the premium time for wargaming be Watt premium time or both? It's going to be Watt premium. My guess.
It will be Watt premium time.
Yeah.
Yeah. For sure.
Almost. I believe we're moving just towards making every premium time that we issue into World of Tanks premium time.
Michael, it's not necessarily that the idea of nerfing those vehicles wasn't a good idea. For those of you who aren't on YouTube, Michael asked who thought not nerfing the 430, 430U is a good idea. It's not so much that the idea of nerfing them was thought to be a bad idea. It was the actual changes that we proposed that were just decided that wasn't a great idea.
Can the SU-100Y's exhaust smoke be changed? It's modeled wrong by some miracle. What's modeled wrong about it? Like, is it coming out the wrong place?
Yeah, I'm actually be interested in looking that up.
Yeah.
I haven't noticed it, but I'm willing to believe you. I'll have to take a look. I'm gonna stay on the fringes, I think.
Let's see. Seriously, I've noticed no difference today playing them or being on the receiving end of them. From asking around, I'm not alone in that thought. So, are you talking about the artillery stun rework?
Yes, I think he is.
Okay, because in terms of the arty stun rework, essentially it should feel like you aren't getting stunned for like a minute straight if there's multiple artillery or even just one artillery like just aiming at you.
It's primarily when you're getting hit by multiple artillery that they have some diminishing returns. I remember the word I was searching for earlier. Diminishing returns on multiple arty stuns stacking. So that's really the only part you're gonna feel change a lot, I think, is if you're getting hit by multiple.
Let's see. Oh, hello. I don't know where I'm going. Oh, hello. No! Come back! Yes. Wait, no! I didn't get that shot! That wasn't me. Why can't you sell garage slots? Oh, as in, like, when you said that, I was just like, do you mean, like, why don't we sell them? Because we do.
The People's Panzer says sorry, we're in the middle answering.
Because we're always adding tanks.
Yeah, you don't want to sell garage slots. You never know when any tank comes out you're going to want. Any teasers for the upcoming round of balance changes to the mediums, just more buff forms of the previous reworks, or a different direction? At this time, I don't have any information on that. Just that there will be updated versions of each. I would expect that. So we talked about the roles each of those is meant to fill, according to the design philosophy we're working with, which is they're all support mediums. The STB one is going to be oriented around working ridge lines and close to medium range support. The Leopard one is going to be oriented around long-range sniper support and primarily against softer targets because its APCR isn't going to do you any help at longer ranges against heavily armored targets. And the AMX-30B is going to be sort of a jack-of-all-trades between those two. All the changes are going to be oriented around those ideas.
Yeah.
I'm not sure exactly if the stats are going to be similar to the ones we saw before.
Cardin, I'll look into that for you. We'll see what's up with the payouts for Showdown Saturday.
What is your favorite Mac? Truck?
Ooh,
Ron?
I just ammo racked the TS5.
Scrawford says, I wish there was some incentive to stop the arty from focusing on a single player being harassed. Yeah, I definitely agree. I will say that like nerfing the successive stuns is technically a reason to not all focus the same player. I don't think that will really practically change a lot because I don't think the average arty player makes their decision of who they're shooting based on stun. So it's hard to say. Short of, I mean, most arties in my experience will shoot at the most exposed heavy target that they can. And, you know, a lot of the time, unfortunately, that's going to be the same person at the same time.
Yes.
Especially if they have similar reloads.
Oh, God.
That's a terrible shot.
That's a pattern. There's a pattern shooting at me. Oh, God. There's also that guy. Ew! Ew!
Oof.
Leave me alone. Oh, dang it.
Having a bit of trouble with the long-range accuracy.
I was trying to go help. Jonathan Larkby, the amount of arty per side is dumb. We've gone over that a few times over the course of several of our streams.
I've been in games where I don't disagree.
Yeah.
I was actually in a game the other day. I was playing the email one before the change because I wanted to have a feel for it before and after. Yeah. And boy, I got hit by 3 top tier arty.
How do I get to the bomb
in like
shop?
3 seconds? It was rough.
Crafty wants to know, how do I get to the bond shop?
I just showed it before this game. We can do it again after, but basically you can just hit store, and then you have the ticker on the left of all the different areas of the shop. The bottom one that has the little bond symbol is the bond shop. So again, right now you can't buy anything with bonds in the bond shop that you weren't able to buy. Are you expecting me for that?
No, what did you do?
I just had a damaged gun and then hit that guy with a giant circle on the move. That was hilarious. But yeah, so it's there and it's functional, but the vehicles aren't in it yet.
Yeah. We'll show you guys how to get to the bond shop after this game. Why are the 430 nerfs canceled and the Leopard still bad? The Leopard changes have not gone through. We're still testing them. They are still on super test.
Though they are changing, definitely.
Yes.
All 3 of those vehicles, maybe not the 30B. I'm not sure yet. But definitely the Leopard and the STB one are going to have further changes from the ones that were initially proposed.
So they've only just hit super test. That means they're not even solidified at all. Yeah.
Usually when something hits common test, you know it's something pretty major has to happen in common test for anything to change at that point.
Lurpy says, what kind of headway is being done with people using mods that are not allowed? We can tell when people are using these mods. So we are actively trying to get rid of these people, one by one.
And we've issued,
masses by masses, actually.
We do big ban waves every few months. We just had one, and we actually just announced that we're making some changes to
show people the
bond shop.
The manageable bonus to experience.
Yes. So one of the things that comes with World of Tanks Premium time now, you get this 5 manual bonuses to my XP it's basically to give people an option. So if you have a crappy win, you don't have to blow your daily win bonus on that, and boom, I just got some extra XP for that, which is nice. So I got derailed there. We were talking about
getting to the bond shop, which is under the 430 nerfs canceled and the Leopard
430 nerfs not canceled, just delayed. Leopard 1 changes, more will be coming. Yeah, and Card Narfi, I know you're upset about the Leopard changes. Hopefully Thursday I'll have good news for you. Yes. Bond shop, we're on my screen. You're going to click on the store up here. Going to wait for that to load.
Guys, the nerf
and then here on the bottom.
So, guys, the nerf is... So... the original iteration of the changes to the 430 are not going through. However, we are still going to be making changes to the 430. They're not completely canceled. They are just being delayed because the devs were not satisfied with the way that the changes were going on Super Test. So they're not completely canceled. They're just being delayed. Okay? Yep. Cool. When is the medium Super Test open? Super Test is not open to the public. Common Test is.
Well, it's not open. We're still working on options for NA and EU Super Test, guys. Right now, it's just not possible. Unless you speak Russian.
Yeah.
I might be able to get you in if you speak Russian or are willing to deal with 500 ping.
All right. Do you want to show people how to get to the bond shop?
I just did.
Okay.
But yeah, again, store, wait for it to load, and it's this bottom one. So you have your best, gold, premium account options, vehicles, service, and here at the bottom, items for bonds.
People are asking about insurance boosters. So we've done a lot of testing in the past. Sometimes they're kind of sneaky testing, and sometimes they're just kind of one-offs, just to see how they are received. So.
Alexander says, "I speak Russian. Give me super tests." I will try.
All right. Let's see. What tanks will get added to the bond shop? No idea yet. No idea yet.
Someone asked if we could play the tier 9 Swedish medium again, so I'm going to queue up in that. Somebody also earlier asked how our crews have all these skills. The sheriff accounts are demo accounts. The crews come maxed out.
Because we're special.
It's a super secret advantage that we have for playing on our sheriff accounts.
The best way to see that the SU-100Y's exhaust smoke is a model wrong is the T-103, which is based on the same chassis. It's modeled correctly coming out of the side exhaust vents on the engine.
Oh, I'm not going to have the T-103 on this account. I will definitely look into that and forward it to the appropriate people, though. The devs actually really do care about that kind of stuff. So
Opossum Poser is asking about Russian bias. I mean, I'm just gonna bring up the fact that the most powerful tanks in our game for the last few months have kind of been Japanese heavies. And then we also had that range of time where the E5 was super powerful. We also have the Super Conqueror.
The new Clan Nord Super Conqueror.
Yeah, we also have the Chieftain /
let's do the counting for tier 9, and then I don't think it's totally unfair to say that there's some Russian bias going on.
Yeah.
The 268V4 and the 430U getting dropped at the same time certainly was a bit rough for us. But I mean,
3, 2, 1, go.
I mean, the SC-130 PM is very much the Soviet version of the Scorpion G, and it hardly outclasses the Scorpion G. So it's not. It's not always
denying that there's definitely not. We're just saying that there are definitely some tanks
You're
that
naming
don't
a few outliers when 99% of the best are Russian. Well, I mean, objectively, 99% aren't. So I don't know what to say there.
We're
it's
just
fair.
saying that there are exceptions.
It's certainly fair to say that the Russians have good vehicles in almost every category. Yes.
Yeah.
If they're not at the top, they're probably close. That's true.
Yeah. Disciples on the other team.
And part of that is, as Chieftain and I have talked about before, one of the things that's weird about translating to video games, the Swedes got this. You see how squat and narrow this tank is. But the Americans and the British and the Germans were all like, crew comfort and the ability to escape from the tank matters. So they built their tanks tall and roomy, which is bad for tank warfare. You want your tank squat and angled. And the Soviets figured out that really quickly, and the Soviets just responded to the problem of crew comfort by saying, we don't care. So you just hunch over, fold yourself in there, and if you get hit and you don't want to get out, like that's, or if you have trouble getting out, that's your problem. So a lot of it was design philosophy between the tanks, and the downsides of designing a tank that way, which is like crew happiness and effectiveness, really don't matter in a video game.
Yeah.
So unfortunately, part of it is just inherent to the design. But obviously the Swedes got it, as you can see from their tank destroyers and their medium tanks. Like, look at this guy; it's flatter than a pancake. But yeah, that's a big part of it. Like, Centurions are tall tanks, Shermans are tall tanks, Pattons are tall tanks, and the Soviets just squished them in there. So that actually has a surprising amount of effect on World of Tanks, because you have dispersion and you have armor angles, and all of that becomes harder to deal damage effectively if you have a squat target. Soviet crews must be under 5'10".
Yes. All right.
They probably were at the time. I mean, nutrition is important for height. So.
Ouch. Da-da-da. But true.
It can't all be fat Americans.
Can I have a turbo laser on my M12? Probably
yes.
not. What?
Definitely. Confirmed.
Turbo
what
laser.
What is a turbo laser? What?
What
are you talking about?
Turbo laser.
I'm gonna do something dumb and get shot here.
Isn't that, like, normal for you?
Ouch. I didn't get shot. I did do something dumb. I really want to kill that T-30 because I hate T-30s because they hurt. And I bounced him.
I got him for you.
Thank you.
VK! Oh no! Oh, that was scary.
Is anybody watching the top of the hill?
An apocalypse tank. What? Whoa.
Mad Max? Mad Max tanks? I'm interested.
You missed it! This 430, like, slid into me. It was great.
Oh, come on. That was rough.
A turbo laser is a Star Wars destroyer.
Oh, okay. From the Star Destroyers. Got it. Fair enough. We don't have a Star Wars license to work with, but if we ever get one, I'll put you down for it.
Oh. One turbo laser.
You probably have better. Like, we have gotten some stuff from the Warhammer 40k universe. So
yeah.
Maybe
licensing applicable.
Maybe a battle cannon from a Lehman Russ would be pretty cool. That might be doable. I like the aggression here. We have a real aggressive team. I'm not sure if it's going to work out, but either way, I like it.
We'll find out real quick.
Yeah, I'm going to have to load some skill rounds to deal with that Type 4, I think. Oh, base is getting murked. I'm actually going to retreat.
Sorry.
Okay, I'm retreating to base. I saw MiG up close once. It was so small, I would have covered the entire airplane if I laid down upon it. I believe it. I was actually, when we were at the American Heritage Museum in Boston, they have a BF-109, and oof, you would be real cramped in there if you're a modern American male. I love how many people knew what turbo laser he was referring to. That's fantastic. I should have known.
Mostly wanted to call you out.
I'm familiar with the expanded universe and everything too. It just didn't occur to me to think Star Wars. Right. I thought someone was just throwing cool words together. Yeah, turbo laser. What about the radical missiles? Do you have those? I heard a rumor that Soviet tanks were designed to be idiot-proof.
Oh gosh.
Well, first off, it's impossible to make anything idiot-proof because there will always build a better idiot. I think there's an argument to be made that the Soviet, especially during the time of World War II and shortly after, knew that the majority of their fighting forces were made up of educated farmhands, which, to be honest, is not that different from America at the time, but America had the resources to invest more in training programs and stuff.
Fighting two fronts.
So yeah, they did. There's a lot of reasons to keep it simple, though, in a war, if you're building a tank for actual warfare, because as the Germans learned, really complicated and cool transmissions can be a problem if they're not reliable. So sometimes going the what the heck was that? I'm a dingus. I just shot at the turret of that Patton thinking it was a light.
Oh, that was a bad idea.
I don't know why, guys. Ouch. The tier 9 just doesn't feel as good as the tier 8 and 10 to me. No objective analysis here, just
no idea.
Just pure gut feel.
So I'm gonna refresh yours because we're not getting all the
Chat's breaking again?
Yeah, chat loves to break.
Why you do this, chat?
How big are platoons now? It's still 3.
Big as they ever were. Yeah.
Alright.
Oh, this Crane Bang wants me. And I want no part of him.
Ooh, nice reset? Question
Wasn't
mark?
me.
Oh, that's because that's Disciple.
Disciple carrying us to victory?
No, Disciple on the other team!
Disciple, stop being on the other team. You're supposed to be on our team carrying us to victory.
Youths. Well, he's dead now.
We just got. Oh, did I just destroy him? Ha! He probably let me kill him. Man, I just one of the things about this tank is even though they have the cool suspension, the turrets are just so, or the hull is just so long that it's really unwieldy.
Yeah.
There we go.
Dude, how are we winning?
Because of my amazing defensive skills.
Honestly, I'm
Chat's
gonna say
completely
yes
dead
for now.
Right now, guys. Sorry.
I'm just gonna say yes for now. Why is there penalty moving vehicle to vehicle?
All right, chat's back up, folks.
Yeah. Chat buff when?
Right. We need more British stirrups. I agree. More derp guns. More big booms.
I want to do some damage here.
All about that alpha. More 1-2-1 buffs so I can enjoy my alpha. How about that?
Ooh, thank you for the assisted damage.
You are welcome.
Appreciate it.
Fair play is a joke, only helps Unicums, not as common players.
What?
I'm not sure what you mean by that, John. The fair play policy catches people who use illegal mods. It doesn't care about their skill level.
Yeah.
If you want to elaborate on that further so we can discuss it, I'd be happy to discuss it with you. But I really don't know what tree you're barking up with. The banning of illegal mod users is good for good players, but bad for bad players.
Oh man, CabbageLoss.
It's bad for
play
cheaters.
Match using only your arrow keys for. Oh god. Oh, this is awful. Oh no.
I didn't even know that worked.
Oh, that hurts my
I've
face.
never done that before.
Wait. Oh, I can zoom with shift. Wait, why can't I zoom with shift? I can't zoom with shift for some reason. Well, I guess I'm gonna have to play in sniper mode. Can I can't shoot though. How do you shoot?
Buff IS-7 win. I think the IS-7 is, I mean, it's certainly not like the most powerful tier 10 heavy, but the IS-7 feels pretty balanced, right? Like I would point to that as an example of a tank that feels pretty balanced.
Yeah.
And they're frustratingly annoying to shoot gold through the sides of, but
why don't you go?
Don't ask
like,
me how I know.
Here.
Because he's
gonna
there.
try and go around.
Fine. I guess I'll be the guy who catches him instead of the guy who goes in that way. He's not.
Well,
apparently, he's not.
Yeah, for some reason he's going at our Centurion.
That's okay. If he sees me, he'll kill me. So, be the backstabber. Boom.
Nice. See, we got him. Buff outdated premium tanks. We actually did very recently. We buffed a bunch of the preferential matchmaker tanks.
I agree. More need to be buffed though. We need CDC buffs. KV5
Yeah.
probably still needs some love. I'd like to see the KR get a little boost. I'm a big KR fan. And
Ooh,
I feel
this
like
was
it
a
needs some
good game
help.
for me. This was a good game, so I'm actually going to apply this bonus.
Apply the bonus.
Ah, okay, so I don't remember
Extra
who was
XP.
talking about, like, the applied bonus XP going to your tank, but yes, it does. So it actually goes into your tank. It doesn't go into accelerated crew training. My guess is because the manageable applicable bonus just goes to your overall tank
I just
XP.
want to note, 13 Disciple just gave what may be the first compliment to my gameplay.
Yeah?
In the history of this stream.
What did he say?
I did a great job of seeing the weak side and holding the cap.
Nice.
I don't know about a great job, but I
Nice.
did a
Congrats.
job. Yeah, T-34 could use some help. There's a lot. Restore the Type
Such a
59.
good
Type
game.
59 is actually not in a bad place now since its most recent buffs. I think it's
Yeah.
decent.
Ooh,
Matt, you're back again.
So-
Awful Panther win. I don't have any news for you, man. I hope it does come back.
We have time for one more game. If you guys have any questions for us, please do put them in chat. Our SPG mission's getting rebalanced with the RD nerf. The devs are thinking about it. They are considering what statistics they get back before they make any changes to that to make sure that is still achievable, and if it's achievable at the same level as it was before, so maybe a little bit difficult. So, are there any other nations being planned in the future to add to the already large tech tree? Probably. I mean, the devs are always looking to add more tanks into the game, so...
What does the P mean in this? It's PG, and why do most RD players not know this? It means propelled, and I get what you're saying.
Alright, let's get ready.
Counting in tier 10.
Tier 10? Tier 109, apparently. Tier 10, get ready. 3, 2, 1, go.
Going.
The P stands for punishing, apparently.
Oh, okay. Somebody asked when there's going to be PvE mode for what. I can't share any information with you, but it's coming.
Mute. There's
Saying-
like a big old
saying
mute button
words.
on the side of our mic that I can press.
Yeah, we do have some stuff in the works I think you will like that I cannot share any more details with you right now. But yeah, it's PvE is not something we're totally forgetting about. I know, and some people don't like it, but we did have the Halloween mode last year. Was very much a PvE event. Maybe
Yeah.
not the most exciting one. It was testing the very basics of PvE. But yeah, PvE. Yeah.
Yes. Hello, I'm back. How you play and listen, liking how you play and listen to the comments. Well, hello.
I'm glad
Welcome
someone
back.
tolerates our nonsense.
How do we learn when to shoot into speeding new French race cars? You want to lead really far forward. We have Lord Swaggy McBadassington the third on the other team. Good to see you again, sir. Sire? Sir? One of the above.
Reber on YouTube asks, is there any plans to buff the Panther 88 because there's nothing going for it anymore? I don't have any news on plans, but I 100% agree with you that the Panther 88 needs to be buffed.
So we don't just give out invites for sheriff events, but you guys on this stream will be the first to hear about any, like, events that we are planning and any, like, fun sheriff stuff that we're doing. So essentially, if you want to know if we're doing anything, always come to this stream. We will announce things earlier than you'll see on the portal and earlier than you'll see on the forum, or at least at the same time.
Yep, and we will have probably the first week of May. We'll have more news on the sheriff event and when that exactly will be and when signups will open. But if you watch the stream, if you're watching a stream that day, you'll be the first people to know.
To be able to look at our amazing articles.
That was very
/ forum posts.
Gosh, I deserve all of that. That was so bad.
Will there be any new medium tanks coming to the US tech tree in the future? We'll see, I suppose. I
sure hope so.
Yeah, we're always trying to add more tanks to the game, so if you can think of a tank that isn't in the game, that's from the same era, you'll probably eventually.
I got hit by so many arty shells already.
Alright. I like the new medium tanks. Any reason why NA got 1.5 first? Since we're special.
Honestly, don't know, guys.
Yeah, that's not something we know.
It's sometimes we get it first, sometimes you get it first.
Yes.
But what? Are you guys seeing this?
So
I've been hit by
camping. I've been struck by a smooth artillery.
Just to let you know what I think about 3 arty games, I gotta mute my mic here for a minute.
There we go. All right.
Am I unmuted?
Yes. The mute button was acting all funny and stuff.
All right. Yeah, so I was saying some words.
Yes.
So BroDirt on Twitch asked, why won't you make +1 -1 matchmaking the standard? There's a few reasons for this. One is variety. We think that one of the most important things about random battles is the sheer amount of variety in the battle. And +1 -1 is kind of cool. I like when I get it. But I do, if you're playing thousands of a specific type of game mode, the more variables, the better, generally. And the other reason is matchmaking queue times are really important. I know people say that they'd rather have longer queues for better matches, and we did embrace that a little bit with the most recent matchmaking changes. We do have longer queues, which for a long time would have been totally unacceptable. But guys, the data on like long queue times is kind of indisputable throughout the gaming industry. If it takes people more than a minute to find a game, people tend to not like that. So that's a big deal. It's really important to keep the queue times relatively short. We do want to try and improve the matchmaking as much as possible while keeping the queue time as short as possible.
Like, really badly.
Yao says, Cabbage Tragic, why don't you do a Watt After Dark stream, just you two plus the game and some beers? Yao, are you Jambi John? Are you secretly Jambi John?
Oh man, I swear.
Jambi John's very much wants to do that, and we're talking about it.
Yeah.
We'll do it.
So the issue is we are a PG-13 game, so we can't really drink alcohol on stream, guys. It's like genuinely not allowed by our lawyer. Cool,
some cool historical information from Merveln that's a bit out of nowhere, but still cool. The STRV-103B was the first tank run by a joystick, and you could put a module inside of it and it'd be remote controllable. I did know that.
What?
Also shut off from ambiance, like fully sealed. It could go through fire and float. Yeah, that's awesome.
Artillery's still shooting
cool
for
information.
me.
One thing I also know about the STRV is it was actually an MTB, right? It wasn't a tank destroyer because the Swedish embraced the idea that the gun technology was outpacing the armor technology, and it was all about getting the first shot. And the STV-1 was a tank that was designed, or not the STV-1, the STRV was a tank that was designed to get the first shot.
I'm gonna hide. Oh no!
Who the hell is Jabby John?
Yeah, no.
Jambi John is another member of the world of our team. Bacon Soda Stream, no.
Does the in-game report system really work? Yes. Essentially, the threshold needs to be high enough so that people don't so an entire clan can't just report one person and get them banned, but it also has to be low enough so that the threshold can be triggered. So why can't you report good behavior? Because we haven't implemented that yet.
It's a cool idea. It would be a good thing.
Yeah.
Definitely not something we're opposed to.
Can we show the reserve stock? Yeah, we can. Ta-da! I have 30,000.
Death Destruction asks, when will NA get the T-103? Early next month. Sorry for the delay on that, guys. That tank's being rolled out really weird. It's already on RU. I think it might already be on EU, or it's coming soon, and it's not coming for us until the first week of May. But it is coming.
Yes.
And T-103 is a Tier 8 Soviet tank destroyer. Real
what
tall,
on earth are
ridiculous
those two things sticking out of the back of the Tier 10 Swedish medium?
Hopefully antenna physics.
Oh, these things. Oh god, what is that?
Well, the tank destroyers have that too, right? I think it's like storage bins, right? I don't know, man. Yeah, the 103 has them too.
Good god.
It's to put stuff in.
Alright.
It's a fully optimized tank, man. You don't have room in
We're just gonna
in the tank.
Those.
You gotta get your bedroll. You put your if you're your smoked fish and your caviar or whatever your cinnamon rolls.
When do you think the next gift tank event will be?
Fuzzball says we're still muted. Are you messing with me?
He is still messing with you. Like, you can see the little thing going there. Let's see.
Jonathan said, "Can we get a Russian premium tank every other month?" It's a bit much, right?
What else? Interesting. Like, we're always trying to improve the game. There's a lot of suggestions that we take. Oh, they are munitions implements? Is what I heard. Or it was what I read. Alright, anyways guys, that is just about the end of the stream. We are ending a little bit early today because we have other things planned. We won't be back tomorrow. We do have a team building activity that we have for World of Tanks team.
I'm gonna make them pull a tank with a rope around Camp Mabry. They don't know yet. They're just finding out.
Alright, so I'm sick tomorrow, so we won't be having a stream. So hopefully we'll see you guys on Thursday. Cabbage, do you have any closing words?
Thank you all for stopping by. We know it's a weird day. We're usually Tuesday, Thursday. Today we're Monday. Sorry for the short stream. Sorry for the wrong day. We will be back on Thursday with a full-length stream. Hopefully we'll have a better look at the 1.5 patch stuff. I'll get an answer on Kharkov, and we'll see you then.
Alright, bye guys.